All right, welcome to another deep dive. This time we're heading down to Florida, Sarasota, and Manatee counties to be exact. We've got a whole stack of their local news and events from February 2025, and we're going to see if we can find.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm seeing some pretty interesting stuff right off the bat. I mean, how about a 7,000-year-old underwater burial ground or a brand new Trader Joe's?
Well, you definitely picked some of the highlights. These counties really do seem to have a unique mix of history, culture, and, all the hustle and bustle of development.
Well, let's dive right in. This Hidden Gems article, it mentions this Minnesota Key offshore archaeological site,
Right.
a 7,000-year-old underwater burial ground. I mean, that's older than the pyramids.
It is. And actually, it's the only one of its kind that's been found in the Americas so far.
Oh, wow.
And what's really fascinating is that it kind of changes how we think about early settlements in this region.
Uh-huh.
7,000 years ago, sea levels were much lower, so this area would have been dry land. So this discovery, it suggests that people were living here much earlier than we thought.
Wow, that's incredible.
And it raises a ton of questions about how they lived, how they adapted to the changing environment.
Really makes you wonder what else could be down there.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, let's jump ahead a few thousand years. This Get Out and Play section. Looks like Sarasota and Manatee have a ton going on this week.
The arts and culture scene is really thriving down here. There's always something to do. World-class circus acts, thought-provoking modern dance, even a Bee Gees tribute concert.
Oh, speaking of, I did see something about a Bee Gees tribute. I'm a sucker for some nostalgia, and those harmonies, they're iconic.
Oh, yeah.
But there's also, hold on, there's a Mark Morris dance group performance with the Sarasota Ballet.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Morrison, pretty innovative, right?
Oh, absolutely. He's known for blending humor and really moving themes into his choreography.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, and then, of course, you've got the classic opera, The Barker of Seville, playing at the Sarasota Opera House.
Always a good time.
Always good for a laugh.
Okay, so from culture to concrete, what's the big news in our backyard this week?
Well, for starters, Lakewood Ranch is getting a second Trader Joe's.
Nice. That's good news for all those fans out there. But what about the local businesses?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is there room for everyone to thrive? Or does a chain like that just create more competition?
Well, it's a balance, right? Attracting new businesses while still supporting the ones we have.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be interesting to see how things adjust.
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, this airport expansion, $200 million.
It's a serious investment.
It really is. Shows how much this region is focused on growth. Sarasota Bradenton International, it's already pretty busy.
And what is?
So this expansion, it'll help them keep up with demand, offer more destinations.
Hopefully make travel a little bit smoother, too.
Yeah, hopefully. But more flights, that means more tourists, which is great for the economy.
Right.
But it also puts pressure on everything else, like the infrastructure and resources.
Uh-huh.
What's the plan for managing all that extra traffic?
Well, there are definitely some concerns about things like traffic congestion and strain on local services.
Right.
But, Sarasota is working on a new mobility plan to make downtown more pedestrian and bike-friendly.
Okay, so they're expanding the airport, but they're also trying to get people out of their cars downtown.
Exactly. It's not just about building more. It's about finding solutions, for residents, the environment.
Smart.
And then, of course, you have the affordable housing project over in Manatee County. Much needed, especially with housing costs going up.
Yeah, 300 units planned. That's a great start, but is it enough?
Well, it's definitely a step in the right direction. I think it shows that the county is recognizing the need for more options.
Okay. And along with all this new development, there's an effort to preserve the historical landmarks,
Right.
like the Venice Beach Pavilion.
The pavilion's been a community gathering spot for decades, but it needed some love. This renovation will restore it to a former glory, preserve a piece of local history.
So it sounds like Sarasota and Manatee counties, they're trying to find that balance between growth and keeping what makes these places unique.
Exactly. They're tackling modern challenges, but they're also honoring their past.
Cool. Well, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's check in with the weather this week. Looks like we've got sunshine, showers, pretty typical Florida.
Yep. Always something going on.
So Monday, heavy rain, strong winds, not exactly beach weather, but by Wednesday, we're back to sunshine and clear skies.
Beautiful.
So maybe a museum day Monday and hit the beach midweek.
Sounds like a plan. And even on a rainy day, there's plenty to do indoors. The Ringling Museum of Art, maybe catch a matinee at one of the local theaters.
Okay, so we've got ancient history, modern developments, and even a weather preview. What's next?
Well, let's take a closer look at those events we talked about.
Good idea.
We'll explore what makes them so special and offer some tips on how to make the most of your time, rain or shine.
Sounds good to me. Stay with us. We'll be right back after a quick break.
So we're back and ready to dive into the exciting events happening in Sarasota and Manatee counties this week.
Oh, I'm ready for some fun.
Let's start with, how about Circus Sarasota?
Oh, yeah, that looks awesome. They've got their shows running until March 9th over at Nathan Benderson Park.
And it's not just any circus. Circus Sarasota, they're world-renowned, really high-caliber performers,
Wow.
really unique acts. They bring in talent from all over the world.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really a treat to see these artists perform live.
Yeah, I bet.
There's a real artistry to it.
Yeah, it's more than just, the spectacle.
Exactly. It takes so much skill and dedication,
Right.
athleticism, grace, and precision. And what's really interesting is that Circus Sarasota, they also have a big focus on community outreach and education.
Oh, cool.
They've got workshops and programs for, all ages.
So you can see the show and maybe learn a thing or two yourself.
Exactly.
That's
That's awesome. All right, let's switch gears a bit. How about something a little more classical, Rossini's The Barber of Seville?
Oh, yeah. At the Sarasota Opera House, right?
That's the one. This opera, it's a classic for a reason.
Uh-huh.
Humor, intrigue, beautiful music. And the Sarasota Opera House, they always put on high-quality productions.
They do, yeah.
Really talented singers.
I've heard that it's a good one to see if you've never seen an opera before.
Oh, absolutely. It's very lighthearted, engaging storylines, easy to follow.
Nice.
And the music is so catchy.
Yeah,
You'll be humming those tunes all week.
I bet. All right, well, for those of us who like modern dance, we've got the Mark Morris Dance Group. They're collaborating with the Sarasota Ballet
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
at the FSU Center for the Performing Arts. Mark Morris, he's got a pretty unique style.
He does. Witty, inventive, that's how people usually describe his work.
Uh-huh.
He's not afraid to play with conventions, bring some humor into it.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's always grounded in musicality and movement. This collaboration with the Sarasota Ballet, it's a special opportunity to see these two dance worlds kind of come together.
Oh, I bet. And then there's that Bee Gees tribute concert at the Van Woesel.
Oh yeah,
Get those disco balls ready.
I'm ready. The Bee Gees, those were musical icons.
Mm-hmm.
Their music still resonates with so many people.
Oh, yeah.
This tribute concert, they're going to bring all those classic hits to life.
Nice.
It's going to be a night of singing and dancing, I can guarantee it.
I love it. So we've got circus, opera, modern dance, disco fever.
So many choices.
It really is a good lineup. How do you choose?
Well, it all comes down to taste, right? What kind of experience you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You want something visually stunning, awe-inspiring. Circus Sarasota is the way to go.
Yeah.
If you're in the mood for something more sophisticated, beautiful music, a funny storyline, The Barber of Seville, that's always a good time.
Yeah, definitely. And then if you want something that's thought-provoking,
Uh-huh.
that pushes the boundaries, the Mark Morris Dance Group,
Yeah.
that's for you.
And then if you just want to let loose and have some fun, Bee Gees all the way.
Yeah.
You'll be dancing all night.
I love it. But we do need to factor in the weather.
Right.
We talked about that mixed forecast earlier. Monday, it's supposed to rain. So what do we do if the showers put a damper on our plans?
Well, you could always head to the Ringley Museum of Art.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
Great collection. European masters, Asian art, contemporary works. Or if you're into circus history, there's the Circus Museum on the Ringling Ground. It's got all sorts of cool artifacts and memorabilia.
That sounds really interesting.
And if you're feeling more adventurous, you could always try an escape room.
Oh, there's a bunch of those around here.
There are all different themes.
Fun.
It's a good way to get your brain working and have some laughs at the same time.
Yeah, sounds good. And then when the sun comes back out, which it's supposed to on Wednesday,
Yes.
we got to take advantage of all the outdoor activities.
Of course. The beaches, that's a must.
Oh, yeah. Siesta Key, Lido Key, Anna Maria Island. So many options.
And don't forget about the parks.
Right.
Bayfront Park, beautiful spot for a picnic, a stroll along the water.
Mm-hmm.
Biaka River State Park, if you're into hiking, kayaking, wildlife viewing.
Oh, wow.
You could spend a whole day exploring out there.
So it really seems like Sarasota and Manatee, they have it all.
They do. Culture, entertainment, natural beauty.
It's the perfect mix.
It's a destination that really has something for everyone.
I like it. Well, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Events, activities, even the Florida weather, but we do need to circle back to those developments.
Right.
The new Trader Joe's airport expansion, the affordable housing, the pavilion renovation.
Yeah, let's dig a little deeper into how those are shaping things in these communities.
Sounds good to me. Stick with us, folks. Okay, so we're back, and we spent the last two segments talking about all the fun stuff to do in Sarasota and Manatee counters.
Yeah, lots to see and do.
But now we need to kind of shift gears and look at some of those bigger developments we touched on earlier.
Right, the stuff that really shapes what's like to live there.
Exactly. So let's start with, everyone's talking about the second Trader Joe's in Lakewood Ranch.
Yeah, it's definitely generating some buzz.
Yeah, those specialty snacks and the prices, it's a big draw.
Hmm.
But what does it say about the area? Is it growing that fast that they need another Trader Joe's?
Well, it definitely shows how things are changing. Lakewood Ranch is growing quickly, and people are looking for more choices, more variety.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Trader Joe's, they appeal to a certain type of shopper, someone who wants those unique items, maybe more health conscious.
And it's not just about what they sell, is it? It's the whole experience.
Exactly. It's a destination, right? People like the atmosphere. It's friendly. It's kind of quirky, and there's that sense of discovery.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, let's zoom out a bit. Talk about that airport expansion.
Right, the Sarasota Bradenton International.
Yeah, $200 million.
Big project.
A lot of money. I mean, it's great for tourism, obviously. It makes it easier to get there and back.
Uh-huh.
But are there any downsides to growing that quickly?
Yeah, that's always the question, isn't it? Growth can be good, but you have to manage it carefully.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the biggest concerns with more air traffic is the impact on the environment.
Right. Noise, emissions.
Exactly. And then there's this strain on the roads, the infrastructure.
So it's not just about having a bigger airport.
Right. You need a more sustainable system overall.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the airport itself. They're investing in fuel-efficient aircraft,
Okay.
looking at ways to reduce their emissions.
Good.
And then on the ground, you have things like Sarasota's mobility plan.
Right. Trying to make it easier for people to walk, to bike.
Exactly. The less people driving, the better.
Makes sense. And then, of course, we have to talk about affordable housing.
Right. A big issue everywhere these days.
Yeah. Manatee County, they're planning 300 new units.
It's a good start, but,
But is it enough?
well, it shows that they're taking it seriously at least.
Yeah.
But to really make a difference, you need a long-term plan.
Mm-hmm.
Building new units is part of it, but you also have to look at things like, rent control, zoning, maybe some incentives for developers.
Right, to encourage them to build more affordable housing.
Exactly.
So it's a complicated issue.
It is, but at least people are talking about it, looking for solutions.
Yeah, that's good. Now, we talked earlier about the Venice Beach Pavilion.
Right?
This renovation project, it's a big investment in preserving history.
Yeah, I mean, these landmarks, they're more than just buildings.
Right.
They're part of the community's identity.
Uh-huh.
That pavilion, it's been a gathering place for years.
Yeah, it's got that
For
history.
concerts, events, memories. So by restoring it, we're keeping those stories alive.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have, yeah?
Ancient history, modern developments, all the fun stuff.
A little bit of everything.
I guess the big takeaway is that Sarasota and Manatee, they're not just pretty beaches.
No, they're not. They're dynamic, they're growing, they're facing challenges, but they're also finding ways to celebrate what makes them special.
Yeah, it's that mix of old and new, I guess.
Exactly. And it seems like they're committed to finding that balance, growth that works for everyone.
Well said. Well, on that note, I want to thank everyone for joining us on this deep dive into Sarasota and Manatee counties.
It's been a pleasure.
We encourage you to explore further, maybe dig a little deeper into the things that caught your interest.
Yeah, experience it for yourself.
Exactly. Whether you're a local or just visiting these counties, they really do offer something special. So until next time, keep exploring.